Hey everybody, it's Chris, and today we're looking at Dynamic Disc's new approach disc, the Culprit. The Culprit is a overstable approach disc. Think Slammer, Harp, a little bit slower Suspect. Those are kind of the discs that we're going to be looking at. For comparison, in this video, you will be mostly seeing my trusty blend Harp and my first run Suspect. And actually, I think these are two really good comparison discs because physically the Culprit fits right between them. The problem for me with the Harp was always that it was just a little bit too deep. Flies great, got great results out of it, not criticizing it, amazing disc, but it was always a little bit deeper than I was comfortable with, especially for my forehand grip. Enter the Culprit. I think I can actually get this on the side, but I will do side-by-side photos as well. Culprit's actually just a touch shorter than the Harp, and just a touch taller than the Suspect, so it falls right in between them. It's also, I don't think, quite as fast as the Suspect. The Suspect is I believe, speed 4. The wing is just going to be a little bit wider than a Harp, a little bit narrower than a Suspect, so it falls in between those on the speed scale as well. The speed with it and the Harp are probably going to be negligible, just to clarify. But the wing falls in between the Suspect and the Harp in that sense. So, how does it fly? I was actually really excited. Somebody prepped me for this. I try to avoid spoilers before I do reviews, but somebody prepped me for this saying it was like a Suspect Plus or a Suspect Pro, so more overstable Suspect, and that is very true. In fact, it's even a little bit more overstable than the Harp. So instead of harping on about it, we're going to go to the video. You can watch it fly, and I even had a first one of these, so I was pretty excited. Next review will be Ricky Wysocki Slammer. But on the Culprit, if you have any questions, please put them below so I can get back to you. Otherwise, enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy. Thanks. Here are those promised wing comparisons. Culprit on the left, as you can see, a little bit sharper, not quite as tall as the Harp. And here's compared to the Suspect. Heights are fairly similar, but the Culprit wing just feels a little bit deeper in the hand, in my opinion. Here are just some simple field throws. This is about 60%, maybe a little bit harder, just trying to get the disc out there, see what it does. And it's going to fly with a hyzer. That's going to be pretty common with this disc. It is an overstable approach disc. Here you can see me powering it up a little bit, about 210-ish. And then here's a flex shot. This went, I think, about 245. It might have been a little bit farther. It was a nice flight. I was actually very pleased with how this disc flew. Here's a couple of forehands. Actually, you're going to get a few of them. Me just trying to flex it over to the basket about 170 feet away. And this is me actually trying to go to the right of the basket and skip around the corner. Didn't quite get as much distance as I wanted, but nice clean throw for me anyway. Approach shot right up to the pin. This is about 140, 130, somewhere in that range. And here's just another one that goes a little bit past it. It was a very comfortable disc in the hand again. Feels very similar to the Suspect, just a little more overstable. Let's go out to the course and do comparison throws. First up, I am not trying to go to the basket here. I am trying to throw over it and around the corner. You can see the Culprit just has a little more stability. I did throw it higher, but you can see the wing dip a little sooner. This comparison shot is a first for me and a disc review. The Harp is going to hit the basket, and the Culprit's going to stick. That's my first review ace. It was not my first throw, but still cool to get on film. Back to the throws. Again, these are overstable approach discs, so I'm throwing them around the corner. You can see the basket up there behind the trees. Culprit's going to just get a little bit farther left faster. It's just a slightly more overstable disc. Again, both of these are very good approach discs. It's probably going to be just preference in the hand, but I did find this particular Culprit to be a little more overstable than the Harps I tend to throw. One more shot, 240-ish, just a slight uphill on this one, not very much at all. But again, you can see just that extra stability on the Culprit there. Now, the Suspect. If you know Harps and Suspects, you know that the Harp and the Suspect is not as overstable as a Harp, and it's a little bit faster. So you can probably guess how this is going to go. I was, again, trying to put the Suspect around the corner, but you couldn't really see it there. Here is that ace run from the Culprit again. The Suspect is actually tracking right at the basket as well, and it's going to chain out and just drop to the left. So I had 3 shots in a row that were pretty exciting. It was a fun sequence. Back to those corners, the Suspect is a great approach disc as well. It's not as overstable, but that also means you can manipulate it a little bit better angle-wise because it's not just going to fade to the ground, and you got to see it there. It gets around the corner to the basket a little better. And on this one, the Suspect is allowed to stand up and fly, whereas the Culprit's not going to stand up nearly as much. It's going to end up way farther left. Here's some bonus footage. The Ricky Wysocki Slammer is on the right-hand panel and will be featured in my next review. I have filmed most of that, so it should be out soon. But for now, let's get back to the Culprit Dynamic Disc's newest overstable approach disc, minus the Ricky Wysocki Slammer. It is overstable in the molds of a Harp, a Slammer, or a Cenis, maybe just a touch more overstable than those in this Prime Moonshine that I tested in this video. Very comfortable in the hand. It's going to feel similar to a Suspect, not exact, and definitely more overstable. One more shot of that ace run, or that ace. If you liked this video or found it informative, please feel free to like it, share it, or even subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.